How elections work in the United States is actually a pretty complicated question. All elections have some basic federal rules that apply to them. These are stipulations to address specific issues that have arisen over the years. For instance, the Constitution prohibits discrimination in voting because of race or gender. Poll taxes are also unconstitutional. And if you are 18 years of age or older, you may vote. Federal law also prohibits non-citizens from voting and may also monitor elections in districts that have demonstrated a history of abuse. The now infamous 3/5 clause in the Constitution, which counted enslaved Africans as 3/5 of a person for representation, had an impact as well, effectively giving the South more electoral power. This was corrected by the 14th Amendment in 1868. However, the last significant federal election law was the Help America Vote Act of 2002, which came in the wake of the 2000 election and requires the use of some kind of electronic voting machine that produces an audit trail. Supreme Court cases often affect elections as well. Court decisions can affect who can and cannot give money to campaigns, which is seen as a function of free speech, whether state voting districts are appropriately gerrymandered, or if a state or county is violating some aspect of federal law governing elections. As a general rule, however, the court is reluctant to get involved in disputes over election results. All that said, under Article 1, Section 4 of the Constitution, elections are, at their core, a function of state and local government. The federal government sets some guardrails, baselines, and checkpoints, but each state sets its own laws governing elections, such as where people can vote, what is needed to vote, how long voting goes on. For instance, while we all know that federal elections for president happen every 4 years on the second Tuesday in November, state and local governments determine things like early voting, absentee ballots, how long voting precincts are open, how many precincts there are, what voting machines to use, what identification is needed to vote, and who runs the precincts. While this means that voting is slightly different from place to place, it also means that American elections are very difficult to manipulate because there really is not a nationwide system of any kind in use. You cannot hack the voting system because there isn't really a single system to hack. While it is easy to focus on the federal elections, such as the president and Congress, the most important elections are the ones that happen at the state and local level. These contests determine not only your governor and state representatives, they also determine school boards and county governments, which in turn affect local taxes, what books may be available in your local public library, how school districts are determined, and what curriculum may or may not be acceptable. Ironically, while state and local elections are the most important to our day-to-day lives, they have the lowest voter turnout and voter participation. While a presidential election may see just over 50% of all those who can vote do so, a strictly local election, say for school board, will see less than 20%, sometimes less than 15%. Your local government could be determined quite literally by just a few hundred people who actually turn out to vote.